we really never thought that we were really going as far as we went. We really weren't, because we were just a bunch of young guys, musicians, having fun, playing what we like to do, you know. But when the first album came out with We the People, we was dumbfounded that it did what it did, you know. And then people started calling us, and then they wanted us to do another album, and then the Busting Loose title actually came out. It was something we would do after the first album when it was hitting it, and we hear it on the radio. We busted out, we doing it, we busting loose. So it was, the idea was naming the song Bustin' Loose, you know, because this is what we were doing, you know. So, man, we get ready to roll. And what we did, so we wind up doing the song I Feel Like Bustin' Loose, you know, where John Buchanan, who arranged it and wrote some of the parts and stuff for us.
So Bustin' Loose.
Bustin' Loose. You know, I'm giving a lot of props to JB. We call him JB. JB was one of the arrangers and writers of mostly all this stuff, you know. He was a heavy brother, you know. And we were like that. We knew he was a graduate from Notre Dame, you know, and he was a teacher. So we knew the concepts where he was coming from. We kind of knew where he was going. So we were clinging and said, man, you know, that's not a bad idea. What really, the best part of the whole thing of being with the Searchers was with any ideas or songs or originals, we would run it by everyone. You know, we would, even with Chuck would ask our opinion, or JB would ask him, what do y'all think about this? You know, he said, that's nice, we like that idea. And then each one of us would come up with certain ideas that might fit in those tunes. And if it didn't fit, hey man, it's not gonna work. Okay, we'll try something else. It was one of those type things, you know. But yeah, it was a Bustin' Loose. That's how we really started out with that tune, Bustin' Loose, you know. And at the time, I think it was that time, who was that? Rick James. Remember when Rick James was getting ready to have a tune called Busting Out? You know, so it was kind of weird because at the time, Rick James' Busting Out tune was supposed to come out before our tune. We were new, you know. Rick didn't even know about these. Who are these guys? You know, it was one of those things. So next thing you know, he heard a tune called Bustin' Loose, which kind of messed up his kind of scheduled idea of that tune of Busting Out. Because we was on tour then. We were doing on tour, and we heard this about, you know, Rick James' tune was supposed to be coming up with Bustin' Out, and he was kind of mad about that because here we hear this new group out of nowhere coming out with a hot tune like Bustin' Loose before his tune came out. So it kind of delayed his thing, you know, because we was already hitting. Next thing you know, then Bustin' Out came out. But he wanted his tune to come out first before ours, because he's sharp. But the way it just happened that way, you know, it was nothing, we wouldn't try to beat him or nothing, but it just happened that the tune came out and hit it. So I don't know how that worked with his tune as far as like record sales or whatever, you know. But when those kind of things, we wind up thinking, man, you know, we need to start our own little business thing. We need to get this thing, because we had a tight group, you know. And we started out like that, you know. But it didn't go as far as we thought it would go, you know, as far as the corporate thing, you know. Because I think what happened, Ricky Wellman, Sugarfoot started getting approached by Miles Davis. And Miles was looking for a drummer. And at that time, someone told him about Ricky Wellman, who was playing with the Soul Searchers. So he was in DC at that time, and he was going around looking for drummers. So the guy was saying, at that time we was playing the Howard Theater. We had just finished playing, I believe it was the Squad Room out there in Maryland. So we had we left there and went to the Howard Theater to perform. And lo and behold, we found that Miles heard us from outside jamming, and he wanted to go in the Howard Theater. Who is this man? So he came in, the way the story, he came in, he was in the back, and he was listening to us, we was playing. And at the time, he approached Ricky Wellman to play with him. So Ricky, I guess he gave him a good thing. Ricky decided to go ahead and go with Miles, which was beautiful. Miles was my man. That's one of my mentors. You know, I love him, you know. As far as playing, I used to listen to this kind of all the time. But Ricky went with Miles. So things got we had to kind of slow that idea down because, you know, well, he's gone. And then Chuck changed his mind. He didn't want to corporate, you know, he didn't want to go as far. So guys, you know, started moving. We started looking for other drummers, which was very hard to do. Very hard to find somebody. So Rick was like the man, you know. I remember when he was 12 years old playing with the Jaguars, you know. And a lot of people really don't know, Ricky had no toe on his bass drum. He was playing with just his 4 toes, you know. And people was wondering, how in the heck you do it? I mean, the guy he was so strong, but he had no toe. He lost his toe when he was a child, you know. He came a long way, you know. He had we had some heavy guys. I miss them. I miss those guys. You know.
Well, tell us a little bit. How did Sluggo come into existence?
Well, I don't know too much about Sluggo. I think at the time, all I know is they started with the album. They did an album. It was a singing group. You know, I know Roland was singing a lot of the stuff, and they decided to, I guess, get their own band. You know, because that album was hot. You know, those guys were hot. We had so many good musicians in this city.
Like,
you know, oh man, yeah, like them were Roland, Glenn, a lot of guys that played with us. You know, it was so versatile. This city has so many good musicians. It's a crying shame. But the problem is, we don't have that musical industry like they do in California or in New York. You got to go there, you know. And unfortunately, this is political city, you know. But we had a lot of guys, a lot of groups. It was a guy that was with the OJs, the second from OJs. He's from DC. They had a guy from the Shy Lights who performed with the Shy Lights. He's from DC. Had a lot of cats from Temptations. We know people from some of the newer people in Temptation. One of the guys, he's from DC. You know, so we have a lot of musicians here, good ones, you know. It's just that it just takes us so long because we don't have the industry, the production people and all that we have here, and we have to go out there. So when you do that, you got to know some of the business aspects. You have to, you know, because when you're dealing with record companies and producers, they already know the ropes. You know, they can promise you this and then promise you nothing. So you have to take it upon yourself to learn the business. The thing I like about Jay-Z, and I use him as an example, the way he did his thing, went right into rapping. Hey, look, I'm starting my own label. I'm starting my own thing. He took that money he made and put it into certain businesses in himself, you know, at his own recordings, you know, do his own record. That's what you do. You know, you cut out those so-called middlemen because you have all the talent. Do it yourself. You know, just read, pay attention, learn, you know, because if you don't do that and you become a star and all that, but if you don't have anything like monies or nothing in the bank or something to save, or you don't have any of that, you're wasting your time. You're just burning yourself out. So you have to be prepared for whatever happens, because you're never up top forever. You know, save your money. You know, bank it, invest it. You know, invest in your own production. Do your own recording now. A lot of DC, I'm looking at a lot of young guys in there, young rappers are beginning to do that. I love it. You know, produce and do your own public relations, because you're dealing with you. You know, don't let outsiders tell you what to do. Oh man, no, I'll do it myself, because that's money that you have to give them, and you never know what you're making, because they're not gonna tell you how much you really make. You know, so they ain't gonna let you see the books, you know, but they know a lot of that stuff. You don't. You know, so we, you know.
One last question. Tell us a little bit about Chuck Brown. How was it working with Chuck?
You know, Chuck, I'm gonna be frank, I learned a lot from Chuck. You know, he was hardcore. He knew, when I mean it's hardcore, he knew what he wanted. He was a leader. You know, Chuck had a gift that he would know what certain musician he would want to play with him. I mean, he would go to certain places, like he went with me. When he went to La Gemma, he heard about me. He said, man, this guy might be the guy I'm looking for. He has a gift where he can look at you or talk with you for a while, see where you're coming from, your personality or whatever. He knew how to pick. And I think that's really how we really kept together, you know, because he knew we all was in that same mixture. We always wondered, how did he hook up us? And we were all, and not knowing, we didn't know each other at that time. You know, we was just, hey, I don't know you guys, you know. But we all were clicked into where Chuck wanted to go. You know, certain tunes, the jazz thing, doing the go-go thing, which was something that we like to create. You know, sometimes we would create on stage and nobody never knew. You know, we created, believe it or not, we actually started creating go-go while we were playing. We didn't know what was happening. Right, a lot of people don't know. Go-go, some people know, but go-go, that go-go groove started out with Grover Washington, Mr. Magic. That's what it was. But Rick wind up putting this double kick on this thing. And we used to start out playing rhythm before we even played any song. Chuck would do his little upbeat, you know, and we just played a rhythm thing. But what we was getting ready to do was getting ready to go into Grover Washington, okay? And I remember this in the Masonic Temple, okay? We had just finished doing Bryan Manor. We left there and was going here. The promoter was Joe Clark. And Joe would call us, man, y'all gotta come on over here, man. The crowd, man, they waiting, man. This is crazy. So we rushed there. We rushed from there, and got to Masonic Temple. And Chuck was still at the Bryan Manor. So the band went on to Masonic Temple and started getting, you know, set up and go, y'all go ahead and play, man. I'll get this thing together, you know. So basically, we went there. Got together, put ourselves up, had the road guys, put our sound and everything. People were standing out in line. So we just started playing the rhythm of Grover Washington. Because Chuck wasn't there. So man, we got, what we gonna do? You know, so we just jamming, you know. And we started playing this beat, and Ricky was playing this funky beat, and we started doing started this little rhythm thing, and I'm on the tambourine, and Laura and Leroy on the cowbell, he was starting letting people come in, and that's when $5, you know, to get in those days, you know, and people were coming in and they would say, man, what kind of beat is that? I said, man, that's a funky beat. And people started coming in, jamming on that beat. Chuck wasn't there yet. We was just doing this, man. Everybody liked this beat. So we started, and everybody was coming in and started dancing, and finally Chuck came, you know, and he had his guitar and everything, and we were still playing that beat, and Chuck came up with his chopping and started rapping to the people, and we were still doing that beat. Then we went into the song was going to play. But the weirdest thing about that was the beat was going. I said, man, hey, man, let's keep it going. You know, so when we finished the cover tune, we kept going. We didn't stop because the people was into that beat. He said, man, let's keep it going. We were, you know, So we wound up playing another tune. What really wild thing about it was we wound up finding out that the tunes that every tune that we played, every cover tune that we played, we can use that beat. So people started saying, man, go, man, go, man, that's a bad go beat. So it really started out with the people with that name go-go, because they would come with their cassettes or whatever and just say, man, go, chanting. And it really started with the people here, the go-go saying. That's how the go-go grew. And from that point on, we wound up playing songs. Every song, we found that every song that we could play would be perfect with that go-go beat. So next thing you know, we wind up with our albums with the go-go beat.
Well, brother, thank you for this interview.
I loved it.
Really
I loved
appreciate
it, man. I loved it. Yeah.